Hello, and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1772. The topic is Q&A, and the title is, Do Powerlifters Need to Do Cardio? I'm sure they're all hoping the answer is no. But I had a new powerlifting client I've been started working with. They have a very strong squat, very strong bench, but a weak deadlift. If you look at their body type, they have kind of short and stout. Short legs, short femurs, which really helps their squat, and the short upper arm bones, which helps their bench press. But the deadlift being weak has also contributed to a lot of struggles with lower back pain, and it's related to, essentially, they have a big belly. So they're big belly, but no butt. So there's really no muscle on the back side of the body to help support the weight on the front side, let alone the bar in their hands, that weight, but also the belly weight. They're running into the issues of that added weight on the front. Now, we talked, and they said it's kind of like a safety thing for them. It makes them feel strong and powerful in the squat, and they've had a lot of trouble before when they've tried to diet to lose their stomach. The belly helps them in their squat to feel more stabilized and kind of tight and braced in the bottom at parallel in their squat. And then also, whenever they've tried to diet before, they just felt really weak. They struggled with a lot of cravings, which then made them question themselves. They felt like they weren't very strong mentally, and it really spiraled out of control for them. So they have a really strong sense of hatred, basically, towards dieting. And that's when I asked them, I said, well, instead of dieting, have you tried doing low-intensity cardio? And he replied, quote, I thought powerlifters didn't need to do cardio. And I was like, well, not necessarily. Like, it's not something you're tested on. It's not a direct marker of success in powerlifting, but it absolutely could have some benefits for us, and especially in his case. So I wanted to cover today 5 benefits of cardio for powerlifters. So that way, if somebody, if this piques your interest and you're like, man, I would like to have that benefit, then this kind of, gives you that motivation to go out and do it. One of the things is it helps with weight control. Now, that's going to be, hopefully, fat loss. If we're talking about, like, losing weight, we want to be losing fat, not muscle, or water retention, or a bunch of other things that we would benefit and need for performance. We want fat loss. But the benefit of cardio is it can help us control our body weight via fat loss without caloric reduction. So typically when people think they want to lose fat, they think they have to eat less. That's not always the case. You can eat what you've been eating, just move more. So you can still eat what you need for workout energy. So eating the meal before the workout, make sure that's, excellent. Get your intra-workout meal and energy intake, and then post-workout meal. So you can still eat to maximize performance. You can still eat to maximize your strength gains and like body adaptations. But adding low intensity cardio can help create more of like a carb fat. So when we talk about calories, we don't really want a protein reduction. We don't want a protein deficit. We want a carb and fat deficit. That's going to help us lose body fat, but making sure the protein stays exactly what we want is going to make sure we still make positive adaptations. And of course, we have to maintain at least a minimum amount of carbs and fats to fuel those adaptations. So there's a little bit of reduction in carbs and fats we do want. That would help us for fat loss, but would not hinder us for adaptations between training sessions. So that's that like nice little window of how much reduction can help us lose fat, but not hurt our recovery. That's what cardio can do. So adding in low intensity cardio helps you create that small deficit to get body fat to come down, but you don't have loss of energy, which he experienced. You don't have intense cravings, which he experienced, and you don't have delayed recovery, which again he experienced. So this can be very helpful. The idea here is instead of eating less, we just move more. And the idea of moving more is to make it very low intensity, nothing that hurts your joints, nothing that impedes muscle recovery. So it can be 10 to 20 minute just walks, just going for a walk. I know rucking is common among like powerlifters to do, but you have to be very careful not to use too heavy of a pack. You don't want any kind of lower back pumps. You don't want a chronic like 40-minute lower back pump and then think you're doing recovery work. That's not going to be good. So it has to be light. If you're going to do rucking, you should not have a lower back pump if you're doing rucking. You can also do light sled work. And you know that from Westside Barbell. You can just attach a weight sled around your waist and go for a 10-minute walk. You can go forward, backward, sideways. You can do a lot of different things. I used to actually attach a sled to a neck harness, and I would drag it around with my neck because I was wanting to strengthen my upper back and my traps. And I was like, maybe this will be something I could do. It was wonderful in regards to weirdness, and it did burn some calories, and I felt like it made my upper back nice and stable. But you can just have a lot of fun with it. You can push the sled, you can drag a sled, you can pull a sled, you can do whatever you want to do with the sled. But that's the idea: is adding cardio can help you control weight and fat loss without negatively impacting workout recovery and workout performance. A second tip we have is improved aerobic capacity, aerobic recovery can improve training capacity. So I stumbled my way through that. Let me clean that up a bit here. So improved aerobic recovery to increase training capacity. There we go. So if I can recover aerobically faster, then I can do more in my training. If I only have an hour in the gym, hour and a half in the gym, 2 hours in the gym, whatever your schedule allows, 30 minutes, whatever it might be, if you can recover aerobically faster between your working sets, you can do more working sets. This allows you to give more overall volume to your training, which can help you burn more carbs and fats and get that fat reduction without having to eat less. So just doing more in training prevents you from having to do more outside of training. So if you don't want to do the cardio in the traditional sense, like the walks, the rucks, the sled work, just being able to recover faster between working sets can allow you to add more volume, which can also be a way to create a caloric reduction. And it also can help allow more time and space in your workouts to focus on isolative weaknesses. So, for example, with this client, he does not have glutes, so we would want to add glute isolation work. Now, if our recovery is so poor that by the time we do a basic warm-up, we do some heavy squats, maybe one squat accessory, and then he's dead, that's not enough. We got to improve our capacity so we can add in more isolative work, such as, like in our gym, we have a Nautilus glute drive, which can be good for adding mass to the glutes without like a lower back pump or lower back involvement. We could also do some short range RDLs. We have a lot of other things like belt squats we could do some different things with. But we would want to have capacity in our training to be able to add that isolative work for known weaknesses. And that's what adding cardio can do, is it improves your aerobic recovery, which then allows you to train more. Also, adding cardio can increase hunger. So if somebody is actually struggling to eat enough food, which I have tons of people athletes, people trying to actually lose fat who can't eat enough, bodybuilders can't eat enough, powerlifters who do struggle to eat enough. There are people that struggle to eat enough, and adding even just low intensity cardio can help spike hunger greater than the calories you burn doing the cardio. So let's say you do the cardio and you burn 200 calories, it can increase your hunger enough to where maybe you can have a 500, 600 calorie meal. So you can out-eat the calories that are burned by the cardio. So it is actually a neat way to increase hunger to make it easier for people to eat. A fourth benefit is cardio can help improve workout recovery between workout sessions. Due to the blood flow that happens through the muscles, through the joints that you do during cardio, and also just general movement, like getting up off the couch, getting out of your desk chair, and moving around to do the cardio, it can help loosen and heal the damaged tissues that you had from your last training session. And then that way, it allows those tissues to heal faster and more completely between training sessions. And then the fifth benefit is that cardio can improve mobility and movement patterns. Since doing cardio does help heal tight and like damaged tissues, it can allow you to come into each training session a little more opened up, a little more freedom of movement through the muscles and joints. And that can increase your mobility, that can improve your movement patterns, which can also help reduce muscular and joint annoyances that you might be feeling coming into training sessions. Doing a little bit of extra movement between the training sessions via cardio can help alleviate those acute little small annoyances and help you just move better. And then that also can help improve your performance in your training, which helps you get stronger in the long run. So it's very beneficial. If you want to know, we do have a podcast, 1112. It's a training podcast titled The Best Warm-Up Routine. And that would be a good one to check out if you want to learn how to do movement prep at the beginning of workouts to maximize your mobility, but minimize the time having to spend doing that. It should be 10 minutes or less, and I can cover the shoulders, thoracic spine, the hips, the core, all the good stuff. So that podcast, 1112, would be a good one to check out. You can find all of our older podcasts on our website, www.brutalirongym.com. So those are 5 big benefits of cardio for powerlifters. It absolutely does help. So if you do need to manage body fat levels, but you don't want to eat less to do that, cardio can help. If you want to improve your aerobic recovery so that way you can do more in your training. If you find man, I just can't fit everything in during the week. Well, improve your aerobic recovery and then you can do more in each individual workout. And cardio can help towards that. If you're struggling to eat enough, cardio can help. If you want to improve recovery between workout sessions, cardio can help. And if you want to improve mobility and overall movement quality, cardio can help with that as well. Okay, so if you are a powerlifter, you can benefit from doing cardio. Hopefully this gave you some ideas of that. If you have any questions, any follow-up information you want to know, just shoot me an email at brutalirongym@gmail.com. If you like the podcast, please share the podcast. If you like the podcast, please consider donating to support the podcast, which you can do on our website. And if you like the information we share in the podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. You can find us and follow us on Instagram and YouTube under the name Brutal Iron Gym. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.